Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. So last year we were working at a customer's house doing a pretty decent sized detached garage. Doing the garage floor for him, he shows up, starts talking to us about it. So I start talking to him about gun stuff. He owns a metal fabrication company, so started talking to him about shooting targets and potentially buying some scrap metal off him. And he said those are pretty small scale. The metal he deals with isn't really like that kind of metal. Started explaining to me what it was and made sense. So, it's, no harm there. But he did say that he has a guy that he has a camp down in Texas that he has a shooting range at. He has a guy that makes him shooting targets for it. And, he'd get me his name and number and, touch base with him, make me whatever I want. So I said, oh, cool, awesome, right on. So fast forward to this year, about a month ago, we were down there doing the driveway and border. If you guys missed that video on my dad's channel, here's a link for that. You can check that out. It's pretty cool. We have to do it in phases because there's so much work there. So anyways, we're there doing the driveway and comes up to me, hey Steve, how's it going? I was talking to you about shooting targets last year, right? And I said, yeah. And so he goes, well, we actually just swapped them out at my camp, and right at the end of the driveway, I have a big pile of the old shooting targets. Pick through them, just leave me two, take whatever you want. And I said, wow, it's really nice of you. Can I give you any money for them? And he said, no, you're doing me a favor by getting them out of here. So I said, okay, right on, man, I appreciate that. So I walked up, and I honestly could not believe what he was giving me. It was ridiculous. There was a pile of these targets. I have one up here, and then I actually only took 4 of them. There was probably like 8 or 9 of them, but I couldn't justify taking all of them in case somebody else who was working at his house was into firearms and was looking for targets. But these things are 3/4 inch thick. They are massive. They are ridiculously heavy. Sorry, I kicked the tripod. So whenever I actually saw these, I picked out the 4 that I wanted, and I went back and I said, man, like, are you sure you don't want any money for them? He's like, no, you're doing me a favor by helping me get them out of here. So I'm like, wow, I really appreciate it. So I had to ask him because, they're 3/4 inch thick, and they are just, this one is probably the worst one. There's divots all over the place. So he was telling me that at his camp he has a 1,000-yard range, but before he lets anybody shoot from 1,000 yards, they have to hit one of these targets at 100 yards with whatever they're shooting. That way, it's not just some person sending bullets into the air for no reason. So he said these things have seen everything from 338 Lapuas to 300 Win Mags, 300 Ultra Mags, to 270s and 30-06s at 100 yards. So he said they can be fixed. It's up to me if I want to do it, but, try it out. So this is what we're doing. Right at all the impact zones, the metal of the target mushroomed up. So I'm going to get set up with our grinder, and I'm actually only going to try this one first. There's only 4, 5 holes that need filled. So I'm going to fix this one up first, take it up to the range and try it out, because before I start getting into these other targets that are, these 2 are in worse shape. The bigger square one, it actually isn't too bad. But I don't want to waste all of the welding material if they're not going to hold. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we got set up with our grinder here, and obviously I don't have on proper welding and grinding apparel, but that's the risk we take whenever we get finished pouring concrete and then try to do stuff with what's left of our daylight. So we got our welding helmet. We go ahead and attach our ground clamp. Wiggle it around, make sure we got good connection. Gloves. So the ground clamp's on. Other than my lack of pants and boots, we are good to go. So as you can see, just really filled those bolt holes up, made sure I had enough welding material in it. Now that those are all filled, I'm going to go ahead and grind those flat. Now remember, I'm a concrete guy, I'm not a welder, so welders that are going to watch this, take it easy on me, all right? Okay, so there it is. Now I still have a couple little holes like there, a little one there. So stuff like that I'm just going to hit real quick with the welder, fill those in, and then again grind them down. Now the whole reason I'm doing this is because with the targets now with those indents, if I shoot it and just so happen to hit that the right way, instead of the bullet mushrooming and dropping, it's going to catch the edge, it's going to spin it, and it's going to ricochet. So definitely want these targets to be as safe as possible. So creating a new smooth base is really going to help minimize any sort of potential ricochet, anything like that. So, you know, that's what we got to do. So that's what I'm going to do. Finally made it up to the gun range. Had a few hectic days at work and just got caught in some rain one day, and other days it was just so hot I didn't really feel like coming up here and doing this, but whatever. It's Friday. We finally made it up here. I got the target all put in. As you can see, I need to fix up these ones here. Shut off some of the carabiners the last time I was up here. But we got a nice bright red target, pretty much dead center in the middle. I just used the 2-pound sledgehammer to pound those into the ground. It's all welded up nice and flat. So now, come back here to the truck. I brought just a variety of firearms we are going to test this out with. Some of these guns are not going to be used for this one, like the shotguns. I'm not going to use those. Those are for another video. You know, they have to do with the water jugs. Check back in to Gunpowder and Freedom. Oh, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe too. That'll be a different video. There's some other stuff in there for other videos while I'm up here. Like I said, I do have to film multiple videos in one day because, you know, between working for my dad, working for myself, starting our house, playing dad to Eleanor, playing husband to Rachel, maintenance and upkeep at our house, it's just non-stop. So multiple videos, one day. Here it is. We're going to get set up and we're going to start with the 22. Then we are going to go to, it's actually still in my book bag, my SIG M18 9mm. Then we're going to do the 45 ACP. Then we're going to hit it with the 45 long Colt from the Judge. And then I haven't shot my SKS in a while, so brought that up with the 7.62 by 39. And then we'll take some wax at it with the AK-47 again in 7.62 by 39. I think, did I say 49? Or whatever. It's 7.62 by 39 for both of these. I just haven't shot my SKS in a while, so brought that. And then we're going to hit it with the 5.56 by 45 from the AR-15. So that was a 22 long at about 30 yards. I'm going to actually bring it in a little bit closer for these next few firearms. I mean, really, I didn't expect much out of that. All it did was take the paint off. So we're going to get set up with the M18 9mm and hit it. Okay, so right there was the 9mm. You can obviously tell the difference between that and the 22. Much bigger impact. It's a larger bullet, obviously, but yeah, no dents, no dings, just a little paint missing. Now it's time for the Springfield 1911 chambered in 45 ACP. So I was trying to keep those ones a little bit lower. You can see here, a little bit bigger impact, but still just as smooth as when I painted it. Now we're going to do the Judge, chambered in 45 long Colt. So the 45 long Colt is a longer casing, so it has more powder behind the bullet. The bullet themselves are the same between the 45 long Colt and the 45 ACP, just it's a longer casing with more power. But even with that extra powder behind it, there are still no dings or anything on this target, with the exception of the paint missing. So now we're going to stick with the Judge, only we're going to use our 410 slug shells. So those slugs made the slightest little impression. The main areas that I was focused on, well, I was aiming for the target, but now that I'm looking at it, my welds fixes are right here. So I believe I got it with the 9mm, which didn't do anything. These two patches are still looking really good. So those 410 slugs just nicked them a little bit, but nothing that would really be of any concern. Okay, so we backed up a little bit. We're probably at a good 30 to 40 yards right now. So we're going to switch over to the AK-47, which shoots 7.62 by 39. Okay, so the 7.62 by 39 really hammered in there. Definitely definitely gonna have to take this back to the shop and and fix that up. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I wasn't expecting that. So now that the AK-47 just it really kind of surprised me, I'm gonna see what the AR-15 does with the 5.56 by 45. So the AR-15 with the 5.56 was actually a lot worse. Those holes are really in there, and those weren't even the green tip penetrators. They're in there really deep. So I think I am going to go ahead and fix this target up and continue to fix the other ones, but we'll definitely just keep these ones for like pistols only. And if you're gonna shoot this with a rifle, you have to be 100 yards or plus. So out of all the shooting videos I've posted, usually I have about one comment at least per video saying, hey Steve, you know, you got to be careful of the ricochet, you know, those targets, the backstop, you know, something's going to bounce off there. Well, so far we haven't had any issues. You know, the targets that are hanging are eating the bullets up really well. Any bullets that go past into the backstop, they're getting soaked up with the tires. Had my first little incident. It's not my thumb. I actually did that just now on the bipod, flipping it up. It pinched me and ripped the skin open a little bit. But actually, my leg, I was shooting that AR and I had a bug on me. I had one of the bullets bounce off that red target there, tag me right in the shin. So I'm very, very fortunate because I forgot to put on my safety glasses, so it could have been way worse if that casing was up. So I'm getting my safety glasses right now. All right guys, that's gonna do it today. You know, I got to test this target out pretty well, and for handguns, pistols, 45, long Colt and smaller, it works great. Really eats up the targets, and as you can see down here, you know, it just basically, the bullet hits it and they just drop straight to the ground. The rifles, on the other hand, as you saw my leg, they ricochet. So, you know, just as a safety precaution, always wear your safety glasses and obviously ear protection. Also, it's on me for wearing shorts to a gun range, but it's hot. I don't care. I know it could have been much worse, but I'm pretty fortunate this time. So just always take these safety precautions to make sure you're being as safe as possible. You know, I had a dumb moment right there. Forgot my safety glasses, so it could have been a lot worse, but I'm very fortunate that in this case it was just a little nick on my leg. So definitely gonna have to do some more work on this target to repair it. I'm going to continue pushing forward with the other targets to get those fixed up and up here. Just have to let all my friends know that, hey, these targets are for handguns only. You know, we'll test them at a long range on another day, and yeah, should be a good addition to the lead dump. So I want to thank you guys for tuning back in to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. If you liked what you saw, please click the like and subscribe. Don't forget to like us on Instagram, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.